When Toyota brought in its premium nameplate, the Crown, into the United States just a couple of years ago, it was a perplexing decision by the company. We already have a premium Toyota brand, and that's Lexus. And so what I have for you guys today is the second Crown brought into America since, well, about 50 years ago. This is the Crown Signia, and we'll move to the side so you get an idea. This thing is called an estate overseas, which means it's a wagon. It sits about an inch lower than the Lexus NX. Now the Lexus NX is priced very similar to this Crown Signia. Now this one in particular is not, this is a base XLE, which we get in America. I don't think in Canada you guys get the base Crown Signia, but here in the United States, we also have tons of different options for the Lexus NX. And actually what I have for you guys today is a great comparison between a premium Lexus. This is actually the fully decked out luxury with pretty much every single option ticked all the way up to $58,000. Comparing it to a base Crown Signia and how close the Crown Signia comes to the Lexus is what we're going to dig in and find out today. So if you guys are excited, smash that like button. Special thanks to Jermaine Toyota of Naples and the distributor down here, Southeast Toyota, for hooking us up with this Crown Signia XLE. And I have the Lexus NX Luxury here on press loan. As you guys know, I review cars for a living, so I'm excited to give you guys a comparison between the two today. Now, looks are subjective. I think the NX is the best looking crossover in the Lexus lineup. This guy's always here when I'm doing a review. I swear, I don't know what the chances are unless he's always ridden by, but he's here all the time. Safe travels, my friend. What I think is the best looking Lexus crossover is better looking than the Baby UX, it's better looking than the oversized and bulbous RX, and it's better looking than the largest, the TX. I'm not comparing the GX or the LX, those are true SUVs. I still think the Crown Signia looks better in all craziness. I love just the unique hood line to it. Yes, we have even the optional triple beams on the Lexus NX here, but I like this unique, more sleek, more updated hammerhead design compared to the spindle grille that we have on the NX, but that is just personal preference. Now, looking at these side by side, I can tell this is noticeably taller, but on paper, this is only about an inch taller than the Crown Signia. But when they're side by side, it looks like this is about 4 or 5 inches taller. They both have large wheels. This has the optional 20-inch wheels here. Over here we have 19-inch wheels, and then the standard wheels on this are 18-inch wheels. But on the limited grade of the Crown Signia, you're going to be able to get 21-inch wheels, which are not available on the NX. So I'll see you guys down below on styling. I mean, the wagon has me smitten. You guys know wagons are a dying breed. This paint color, though, is something I wish we could have on that Crown Signia. This is the Nori Green Pearl, absolutely beautiful. Both of these have the exact same powertrain. Let me know which one you think looks more premium. I mean, it's a coin flip, honestly. Toyota Crown on the back with the mini Toyota logo. HEV, they have the exact same powertrain. So let's see what the engine presentation is like between the two of them. Both cars are on right now. I have the AC going. Even though it's fall time in Florida, it can still get hot. Now I don't have shocks here. Hold on. I have to prop it up with a stick, which is not very premium. So let's go to the NX here, which doesn't have normal door handles. These have the digital latch. Don't bother me, I'm used to it by now, but it's a door handle that doesn't move and opens by a button. We have dual shocks here. So let's look at this engine presentation. Exact same powertrain. They're both rated at 240 horsepower, and they're both rated around 40 miles per gallon. The NX has a slightly better fuel economy rating than the Crown Signia. It's probably because this is rated on premium. That would be my guess. But we have 240 horsepower, eCVT. Both of these are standard all-wheel drive, identical powertrains. But do they perform the same? The Signia's engine just kicked on because I'm running the AC. This is Toyota's tried and true powertrain. This is what's in the new Camry standard. It's in so many Toyota and Lexus models because it is just so good, so efficient. Sorry, I should say in the new Camry is an updated version of this. Both of these are used, oh, I almost shut it down on the stick, and we're gonna figure out if they ride and drive the same here in a little bit. But let's get next into the interior. Let's start with the mid $40,000 Crown Signia here. I really enjoy this two-tone interior with this tan and black. I like well, let's just go ahead and get on the inside. We have auto folding mirrors standard here, memory seats standard, which by the way, if you wanted ventilated seats on the NX, you have to go for the premium grade. And so here's the thing, when you equip a Lexus NX to how this is equipped, it costs about $2 to $3 grand more. All right, so keep that in mind. Same thing when you load up a limited grade of this and you want an NX premium grade with the options, it's about $2 to $3 grand more. So keep that in mind. The Lexus is more expensive punch for punch here, but we'll see if it gets you anything other than just the Lexus badge here in a little bit. All right, we have the, this is not in the NX, we have the headlight adjustment knob here, which is pretty cool. Windshield wiper button, heated windshield as well. Auto folding mirrors, like I said, standard. Ventilated seats, standard. 12-inch screen, standard. And 12-inch screen standard here, which does not even come on the NX. You're stuck with a 7-inch screen throughout the lineup. Definitely more, I would say, up to date. Like the volume knob. I like the physical climate control, which you'll see here in a little bit how it differs from the NX. Wireless charger here, which is standard. I think it's actually an optional feature you have to pay money for on the NX, okay? The drive shift knob in this area is very similar between the two. The drive mode is this little switch here. It's a little bit different in the NX, you'll see. I like this dash. Look at this floating dash. It's very premium looking, soft touch, has a lot of depth, a lot of good character to it. Nothing too luxurious with stitching or anything, but you're gonna see on the NX how this outpaces it. Beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel. I'm trying to remember if I have a heated steering wheel. Yes, I have a standard heated steering wheel, which you can only, which begins on the premium grade over there. So this is definitely better equipped than a Lexus NX from the base grade to base grade. But I will show you something, guys, that the Lexus NX has standard, and then this does not. And that is going to be parking sensors, front and back. That is standard on the most basic grade of the NX. If you want parking sensors on this 10-inch longer Crown Signia, you have to get not only the limited grade here in the United States, but then you have to spring for the extra package, the tech package on top, which is about somewhere around $2,000 more, which gives you the 360 camera. If you want the pano roof, you get it standard on the limited grade. All right, let's get on to the front seat of the NX here. And well, materials of the stitching is the biggest thing I noticed. Obviously the real wood here, this is a luxury trim. It's not exactly fair to compare it to the Crown Signia base grade, but yes, we do have some wood here. Mark Levinson sound system, which is phenomenal. No Bose sound system in the Crown Signia is gonna, or sorry, JBL sound system in the Crown Signia will keep up. Auto folding mirrors here as well. These are the luxury seats with the semi-inline leather, so they're going to be a little bit softer and cushier compared to the Crown Signia in theory. All right, this has an optional head-up display. The Crown Signia cannot even come with a head-up display in the United States, but I'm sure it does in other markets. Here's that 7-inch screen I was talking about. It's fine. We've seen it in tons of other Lexus and Toyota models throughout the years. It's just that, well, there's a more updated screen that car gets, and it's way cheaper. All right. Here's a 14-inch screen. 12 inches is dedicated to the screen. 2 inches at the bottom is dedicated to climate control, which I much prefer in the Crown Signia over, you know, the rotary dials here is fine, but I would much rather have real buttons and switches for my climate control compared to this, you know, touch panel garbage. Anyways, that's just my personal opinion. Also, a funny tip here. This hybrid Synergy Drive energy monitor here is 3D, where it's like 2D in the Crown. It's just funny. Okay, here's that wireless charger. It is stowable. Underneath is 2 USB ports, 2 more up top. There's just USBs everywhere in modern Toyota Lexus, which is a great thing. Felt line storage in here. And the knob here is maybe just a hair bit nicer with some premium touchies around it, soft touch. Now, I don't, you know, this here is glossy black, which it is not in the Crown Signia. And look how basic this dash is. And this is where it kicks, the Crown Signia kicks the NX's butt, because look at this, just looks cheap. And the Crown Signia, it does not look cheap, it looks thought out. That just looks like an afterthought, and the whole thought was just put into this screen. I do have a digital rearview mirror here, but that's not an option in America on the Crown Signia. So another reason you would probably get the Crown Signia over the NX is if cargo space is super important to you. So I'm going to lift up the rear here. Cargo space, well, here's the thing. I'll put it on the pictures on the screen. I took my like 6-foot long e-bike. That's a family grocery hauler e-bike, and I was able to fold down the seats here, put it in the back. That's how I got both cars here. I rode this here, then took the bike out, rode home, and left the bike there, picked up the NX and drove it here. So yeah, it just allows for more freedom here, the cargo space. And so you fold those seats down, you have tons of cargo space, and that's quite nice. Now, let's see here. I just used the kick sensor, so it does have a kick sensor. It also has a push to lock feature there. Yeah, I mean, man, I just keep looking. I've gotten many looks actually in the Crown Signia since I've had it. I picked it up yesterday. And the NX here just blends in with any other NX in Florida. They're a dime a dozen, okay? Still a lot of cargo space here. That's why people like crossovers. Holy cow, we don't have a spare tire. Am I seeing this right? Okay, there's the battery. I didn't know the NX's battery was back here. Well, that's a fun fact. Yeah, I'm assuming this does not have a spare tire. Now, this is a luxury feature, which I don't care much for. You can fold down the rear seats back here. My kids' car seat, my kids' booster seats are back there, so let's fold them back up. Okay, there they go. They folded themselves. It's kind of a bit finicky, but it's kind of like a one touch. You press and hold and then let go and then they go up. Anyways, you guys will figure it out. A wimpy tonneau cover here is more of a sophisticated and heavy duty tonneau cover over in the Crown Signia. So you guys probably want to know about spare tire over here. Nope, I just looked. It's a fix a flat kit. I'm sure you can get a spare tire as an option, but yeah, that's kind of a bummer on both of these vehicles that you don't have a spare tire, it looks like. Now, let's look at materials. Soft touch here, heated outboard seats, standard. Hello, I was not expecting that here on the Crown Signia. Sitting down, more USBs, vents back here, of course. Lots of headroom because there's no roof in here, no panel roof. Very comfortable back seats, I would say. Folding this down, some armrests, real nice materials. Pretty big windows here. And we do have handles above each door. Lots of legroom on each side. That seat is, yeah, lots of legroom. So a little bit of a hump here in the middle, which is quite strange. All right, let's go ahead and check the back seat of the Lexus NX. This has been my my kid hauler this week, and real nice materials here. Again, the wood, but around the wood, it's the same materials as the Crown Signia. Nice white leather here with the stitching. So the back door is just a little bit nicer here, I would say, just a hair than the Crown Signia. A nice chevron pattern here on the seats. And we still have a drivetrain hump back here. You also have some nice LED lights, some door lights, and then you have the panel roof, which I don't have open because I don't want the car to get magnifying glass by the sun. So interesting, the Crown Signia had a glossy black here, and this one is more of a matte black. Also in the back, heated outboard seats like the Crown Signia, but again, this is a high-end luxury grade to get these where it's standard on the Crown Signia. Just a strange thing where you can get heated seats on the base XLE, and here you have to get them on the luxury. Anyways, vents, more USB-Cs, and then one up on the Crown Signia is we have a 12-volt back here, mat pocket on each side. Not as much legroom as a Crown Signia, but even at 6'1", I still have good headroom here. I still have good legroom. I would be comfortable back here for a longer-ish drive, but yeah, the Crown Signia does have a better rear legroom. So now we're gonna go ahead and start driving these two. I'm gonna drive the Crown Signia first and then follow it up with a Lexus to see if I can find any more refinements. And I'll compare the vehicles in NVH as well, which is noise, vibration, and harshness. And that's typically where Lexus and luxury vehicles just are hard to beat compared to pseudo luxury vehicles like the Crown. So let's go and hop in the Crown and tell you what it's like to drive. All right, buckling up here, something I also noticed that the memory seats in the NX, at least on that really expensive luxury grade, there's 3 memory seatings on the driver's side, just 2 settings here on the Crown Signia. Now, the Crown Signia with the 21-inch wheels on the limited grade, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, it's not gonna ride as well as this model. Ooh, traffic's coming, and I'm going to go ahead and get out. Instant torque from those electric motors here. Handlings, I throw it around the turn. It feels pretty light. It feels pretty light on its feet. I mean, what do you expect? It does feel maybe a little bit lower to the ground. I don't know, maybe it's pseudo, like a placebo effect, because I know that this is a little bit shorter, but it felt pretty good there in the turns. I'm not expecting too much from a Toyota wagon in terms of handling. All right, ride quality. Well, let's see here. Also, I forgot to mention that I do have lumbar control here on this side, but not on this side. But ride quality, I'm happy with it. Now, I will say, if I put my foot down, that lady was checking me out in this wagon, by the way. That she's a Granny Cougar. This might be a Granny Cougar wagon if you guys need that sort of attention in your life. But wow, I mean, I'm happy with the acceleration. It is a bit loud, and I remember that during the first test drive. I don't have mountains here, so when you push this powertrain, or if you're up climbing a mountain, you're going to hear it droning. But 99% of the time, if your foot isn't buried in here, you don't really notice the engine too much. I will say you do notice the engine's vibration and noise a little bit more in here than the NX, all right? And ride quality in here, if you told me I was in a Lexus, I'd probably believe you, especially with these 19-inch wheels versus the 21-inch wheels on the Signia Limited, all right? But, I mean, does it feel like I'm in a sedan? No, I still feel like I'm sitting up quite high. It is comfortable. I like the seats. My elbows sink into the armrests. Very comfy, very cozy. I have good visibility, no major blind spots. Ooh, I get to use the brakes here. And that is a big difference between these two cars. The brakes, I have issues with both of the cars' brakes. You have to bury your foot in these brakes to get this thing to stop. It makes it feel like it's as heavy as like an EV. Except you don't get as much regen braking here. So like, it feels heavy when you brake, lots of progression in the pedal. And yeah, it's not terrible, but you really have to travel that brake pedal to get this thing to a stop. Now, I just noticed there's only 2 USBs up front, and the NX had 4. I just don't know why you need 4 USBs up front. I don't know, maybe it's because the NX doesn't come standard with a wireless charger that they did that. I don't know, it's just quite funny. I feel like for years Lexus had a lack of connectivity in their cars, and now they're just like going ham. They have 6 USBs in the tiny Lexus NX, so just better to have too many than not enough, I guess. Both of these cars have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless, I forgot to mention that. They both have paddle shifters which simulate gears with the CVT, or the eCVT, I should say. Whatever, I mean, I will never ever use them. The only time you maybe would use them is if you're going downhill a mountain for a long period of time or something. But, I mean, that's very few and far between for most people, and is impossible here in Florida. So the ventilated seats here, I can feel it working. It's only on 1 bar, and I just love how that feature is standard here in the Crown Signia. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to do a U-turn here, so let's test out that turning radius. It's actually a little bit tighter than I was expecting, so well done here. Now, this car's brand new. It just came in, that's why it's still a little bit dirty. It just got off the truck at my Toyota dealership, and they're like, hey, it's ready, or you can pick it up, and it just came here, so I picked it up. It's got 33 miles on it, all right? I put on most of those miles, and yeah, in terms of fuel economy, I just haven't driven it enough to really know, but stay tuned. I will have this for a week. This is only my 2nd day of having it, so I will be able to put this to the fuel economy test to tell you guys if it's going to match its EPA ratings, which is around 39 miles per gallon or so. So stay tuned for that. I will say, even though this screen over here is bigger and a little bit more updated compared to the NX, it takes a lot more time to get used to. There's more fiddling with it. It's not as straightforward. But I can put, fuel economy on one side here, and on the other side, I can go ahead and put you know, I can put this battery or, you know, energy management system over here on my other screen as well. So it's quite customizable. It's fun. I enjoy it. And so like I can put this screen here on my MID. So on this screen, I can, you know, put my navigation, which, you know, let's say I had my phone connected. I don't, but I could put my Android Auto on here, no problem. All right, but very cozy in here. Great ride quality. Like I said, especially with these 19s, it's pretty floaty in here. And like I said, blindfold me, and I would think I would be in a Lexus. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Let's get into a Lexus and see if I can feel or tell any difference. Oh, before I do, I will say here, I have acoustic glass here, standard. That is something you typically only see on luxury cars. Acoustic glass, what does that do? It keeps the noise out of the cabin. So I'm not gonna hear, you know, cars passing by or loud motorcycles, which I'll raise my hand, I'm a loud motorcyclist. But you're not, it's not gonna bother you as much because you have acoustic glass up here and here on the side. So both vehicles feature that standard, I believe, across the lineup, especially obviously here. It's just so easy to look at the Crown and figure out what the Crown offers, because there's 2 grades and there's 1 optional package on the top grade. So it's not rocket science. Where when you look at Lexus, they'll have, well, the Lexus NX has 3 different powertrains, a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, oh, actually 4, a turbo and a non-turbo gas. So it has 4 different powertrains, and then you have different trim levels on those powertrains. It's just like impossible to figure out compared to just 1 powertrain here and 2 trim levels and 1 package. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into that Lexus and compare, you know, what does a more expensive Lexus get you compared to this really regal and well-equipped Crown Signia XLE. Oh, just a standard backup camera here too, by the way. Like I said, 360 camera is going to be had in the top grade Crown Signia with the optional package, or I think the luxury NX is where it comes standard. Oh yes, this has a 360 camera, which again you can get on the Crown, but you have to, it'll come on the XLE grade, sorry, the limited grade, and I think you have to get the tech package as well on top of it, which gives you like the parking sensors on the outside too. Now this has an auto parking feature, which I've never used in a Toyota or Lexus. I prefer to park my own cars, especially press cars. I'm not going to trust them to a computer system, but you do you. Get into the NX, I mean, you can see door handles here. I come across a door handles noticeably lower. All right, so let's get in. Again, power folding mirrors on both of these cars. I didn't mention the safety features. Both of them have Toyota Safety Sense or Lexus Safety Sense Plus 3.0. Comfort right away. Do I notice anything between the two? Nope. But let's start driving to see if there are any comfort differences between the good old NX and the Crown Signia. I will say right off the bat, the steering feels a little bit heavier. I don't know if that's a placebo effect, but it feels a little bit heavier, a little bit sportier here than the Toyota model. Acceleration feels the same, but when I put my foot down, the engine's noticeably quieter in here. And I will say this, the engine on-off feature in here, yeah, this has a more body roll also. So the Crown Signia handles better than this NX. Now, I'm not comparing to NX F Sport. This is an NX Luxury. So, I mean, yeah, that's a different conversation, NX F Sport. But the engine in here and the powertrain is identical to the Crown Signia. But I'm telling you, the refinement and the quietness of this engine is superior. Is it tuning? No, I think it's really just going to be sound deadening materials. And for some reason, when this engine fires up, I notice it less. Maybe it's a sound, or maybe it's just the, maybe it has better like engine mounts. I don't know, but the engine is hardly ever noticeable in the NX unless you floor it. Again, the same as the issue in the Crown Signia, but I would say it offers like 10 to 20% more refinement. All right, so engine refinement, even though on paper it's identical system, it's quieter here. And that goes a long ways when you're talking about a luxury vehicle. And the start-stop engine feature in here, which is typically pretty smooth on any Toyota or Lexus hybrid. It's smoother here and less noticeable. Ride quality is indiscernible between the two, if that's the right word. I cannot tell the difference in ride quality between the NX and the Crown Signia. There are some instances, it's like, it just depends on the road. There are some instances, if it's like, there's some bubbles in the road, with a little bit more like a choppiness, undulation. I do notice it slightly more in the Crown Signia here than here in the Lexus NX. So I would say maybe 5% better ride quality. It's very, very small between the two. I love it. I love it. I just saw an osprey pass over me with a fish in its talons. And if you ever seen a fish in the talons of an osprey, it's so funny because the fish is always pointing straight forward where the osprey is pointing. I don't know if the osprey does that, orients that fish like that for aerodynamics. It's just really, really funny. So it just looks like a little cargo ship flying around about ready to drop or a bomber about ready to drop a fish, which it probably is about ready to drop it in a nest. Anyways, I'm just sharing the beauty of Southwest Florida. And the paddle shifters here, yes, I have them. Does the exact same thing. I just felt the engine in the pedal here. And that was when the engine was really buzzing. I will say this. You feel the road in both the NX and the Crown Signia equally through the steering wheel. And I thought the Lexus would tune it out a little bit better, but it's about the same. Maybe the NX has actually a little bit more vibration through the steering wheel from what's coming up through the road. Some people say that's good if you want a more sporty interaction with the vehicle. To me, I don't want it in my Lexus. I don't want to feel vibration at all in my steering wheel. But vibration through the floor and the pedal is noticeable, at least for me, right? I guess I have a tuned foot. I drive so many cars. So I do notice more vibration through the floor. Oh, there goes my camera. And I'll talk about the brakes here in a little bit. I do notice more vibration through the floor and through the pedals on the Crown Signia than I do in the Lexus NX. Turning radius feels about the same, maybe a little bit tighter here than in the NX. So I'm going to see if the camera's in a good position. I didn't bring my suction mount because there's nothing to suction it onto in the Crown Signia. There's no sunroof there. So anyways, I'll just hold on to the camera. It's no big deal. All right, so the brakes here are frustrating for me. I don't like the brakes in either car, and they're just completely different. So like I mentioned, the Crown Signia, it's just like your foot keeps going and you want more brake and it just isn't there. So you just have to keep burying your foot into it. The complete opposite is true on the NX, and I don't ever remember this being a thing on the NX. So I'm gonna pull off to the side here, and it's progressive initially, and then it comes on super hard. Out of nowhere, it comes on super hard, just like a millimeter more into the brake pedal. So it's not linear, and you want your brake pedal to be linear. And even in like coming up onto the stop sign here, it's just like you kind of slam on the brakes, and which I'll let this guy go. It's almost good it slammed on the brakes, but like it's just not predictable. It goes from like a mild application of the brakes to like hard application of the brakes within like a few millimeters of the brake pedal travel. I don't like the brakes in either vehicle. I'll just say that. It's just unfortunate because I don't remember the NX or the RX having this weird unpredictability with the brake pedals in their most modern interpretations of the hybrid. The first generation NX had a hybrid, and the brakes in there were absolute trash, worse than both the Crown Signia and this, where, yeah, you had this weird, like, regen portion of the pedal for brake regen, and then it came onto the friction brakes. I don't have that here. It's just, it goes from soft brake application, then immediately to, like, hard brake application as the brake pedal goes down. Anyways, that's the only thing I have to really complain about on both of these vehicles is the strange braking. And it's typically like that in most Toyota and Lexus. I usually have something to complain about on their brake pedals. Like, I remember the first, as the Sienna's in front of me, the first model year or two of the new Sienna hybrid, and the brakes were weird on that too, and the gas pedal was weird on that. So it's just weird tuning. I don't have any issues with the powertrain, or should I say the gas pedal with the powertrain on either vehicles. It's just a strange braking. But I will give the handling department to the Crown Signia over this Lexus NX, and I'll give the interior a win. Comfort is equal, but I like the layout of the Crown Signia better. I like the dash is just a little bit more luxurious looking. I like the physical climate control on the Crown Signia, and it's similar with the Lexus GX versus the Land Cruiser, right? They're very similar vehicles, but the Land Cruiser has physical climate control interaction where the GX has this touchscreen malarkey. So hopefully Lexus just seemingly can't get out of their way. You know, for years it was the touchpad, which no one liked, and they locked you out of a touchscreen. They didn't give you a touchscreen. Then they did touchscreen and touchpad, which people were happy with because you had a choice. And then they got rid of the touchpad altogether and did, but then as a result, they also got rid of the climate control, and now everything's climate control on the touchscreen. So they just are all over the place. And I mean, it's just easy to complain about when you get into a Toyota counterpart, which is just more functional, more pleasing to work with in an everyday situation. All right, with that being said, I'll get out of the Lexus NX and I'll give my final thoughts with pricing and bang for your buck and what's a better value between this and the Crown Signia from Toyota. So if these two cars are on your list, which should you get? Well, it really depends on your needs. If you need more cargo capacity, then this is maybe the easy option. If you need the Lexus badge, then this is obviously the easy option. To me, the Crown Signia gets my pick of the two. It costs about $2 to $3 grand less when you option them out to be very similar. I like the Crown Signia's standard equipment a little bit better here. Again, the looks are subjective. I prefer the looks of the Crown Signia. The powertrains are identical. The Lexus has a little bit more refinement when we're talking about NVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. The Lexus does a better job, especially with the powertrain, smoothing out and quieting out what can be a buzzy powertrain at times. Crown Signia, it feels a little bit Toyota-ish with the refinement of the powertrain. But in terms of the interior quality, in terms of the extra space you get in this vehicle, in terms of the standard equipment, in terms of the looks, I like the Crown Signia better. But I'll see you guys down below. Of course, the Lexus is going to fetch a higher price, and you can get more features on it at the very, very top end. Like I said here, power folding seats, you get the fancier headlights, you get well, what else? Head-up display. You get the incredible Mark Levinson sound system. It really depends on what you need. If you need to have all those fancy things, or if you need to have a vehicle, so like the NX is 10 inches shorter from front to back. So if you need to have a vehicle that, well, you know, just provides much better in and out of parking situations, it can fit in your garage, that sort of thing, I get it. Like, it just depends on your person, your personal needs, your personal wants, your personal desires. If you need to have that luxury badge, if you need to have that more, I don't know, sleek look, the cargo capacity of the Crown Signia. They're both fantastic vehicles, and it's great to have so many different flavors of this K platform that they both share, and so many different flavors of automobiles in the Toyota and Lexus lineup that have this fantastic powertrain that gets you all-wheel drive, 40 miles a gallon, a smooth operating setup, super reliable, bulletproof reliability with that 2.5 liter hybrid setup. So I'll catch you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more comparisons like this, comment down below, and catch you in the next one. Peace out.